Liquidity ratios, they measure your company's ability to cover its expenses. As the name states, how much liquid assets you have, how much liquid material you have on your balance sheet that will be able to cover your expenses when they come due. The two most common liquidity ratios are the current ratio and the quick ratio. Both, they are based on balance sheet items. The current ratio answers the following question. Does the business have enough current assets to meet the payment schedule of all my current liabilities with a margin of safety? Am I safe with the current situation of my current assets? A common rule of thumb is that good current ratio is 2 to 1. You should have more current ratios than your current liabilities to be safe and to be sure that you will meet your future liabilities. Of course, the adequacy of current ratio will depend on the nature of the business and the character of the current assets and the current liability at the same time. There is usually very little uncertainty about the amount of debt that are due. You know how much you will pay. You know how much debt you owe. You have the figures. But there can be considerable doubt about the quality of the account receivables or the cash value of your inventory. So you will never know if your customer, your client will pay you their account receivables, your money. That is why a safety margin is needed. That is 100% sure you know that you have this amount you have to pay. As for the assets, accounts receivable are with your clients to pay. So you'll never know what's the financial status of your client and your intentions. So that's why you have to always have a safety net to protect yourself. What's the current ratio? The current ratio is simply the total current assets divided by the total current liability. A current ratio can be improved simply by increasing the current assets, that's the numerator in the ratio, or by simply decreasing your liabilities, which is the denominator in this ratio. So when we talk about it, the steps to accomplish an improvement will include: how am I going to decrease liabilities or increase assets? You can start paying your debt. This way you will reduce your liabilities. You can start acquiring a long-term loan payable in more than 1 year's time. So if you have a long-term loan, that long-term loan will not be considered as a current liability. Usually, current liabilities are debt that you have to pay within the year, not beyond that. So all you have to do, reschedule your debt. Have long-term debt instead of short-term ones. Sell your fixed assets. What are we talking about? When you sell your fixed assets, you will be collecting money. Money is cash. Cash is one of the most important current assets that you have on your balance sheet. Or you can go by putting profits back into the company. When you put the profits back into the company, you don't withdraw the profit from the company. That profit is again in terms of cash into current assets of your company, and accordingly that ratio will increase. But you have to keep in mind, a high current ratio may mean that cash is not being utilized in an optimal way. As a company, you have to know that you're not a bank. You're not supposed to have a lot of cash on your balance sheet. The excess cash might be better viewed as invested in equipment. So this is better for you as a company. Equipment will generate products for you, will generate sales for you. But cash will be sitting idle, will do you nothing. It will only help you to pay your debt. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, talking about the liquid ratio, we have to move from the current ratio into the quick ratio. The quick ratio is also called a asset test ratio Why do we call it asset tax ratio? Because the quick ratio looks only at the company's most liquid assets. When we talk about the most liquid assets, we talk about all the assets that we have excluding the inventory, without mentioning the inventory, because inventory might not be as liquid as we want. If we have liabilities coming due, we might not be able to use our inventory to pay back that debt. So the quick ratio is nothing but a ratio of the most liquid assets over the current liabilities. The quick ratio is the current assets minus the inventory over the current liabilities. So we have the whole current assets that we used before as a figure. We deduct from it the inventory, which is our product that is ready to sold, over the current liabilities.